Hello and welcome to the Crimson Stitchery. My name is Anushka and this video is about one specific yarn which is called Holst SuperSoft. This video will address what is Holst SuperSoft, why is it so great to knit with, why should you choose it, and also what are the things about it that make it quite unique and specific that you'll need to take into consideration. You will find show notes and all links for things mentioned in this video just in the down bar here on YouTube. This is not sponsored or promotional content in any way. In this video, I'm sharing a genuine recommendation of a project that I use and that I know a lot of knitters have many questions about, so I hope that it can help you out. So my attitude in life generally, and in knitting more specifically, is just leap in, just have a go. What's the worst that could happen, especially if it's something that's at quite an accessible price point, such as this product. However, I know that many knitters have a lot of questions about Holst SuperSoft and they may be concerned about the process of washing out the spinning oil and what that does to the finished knitting. So that's why I'm making this video, so that we can go through that process together and hopefully that answers some of your questions. What is Holst SuperSoft? Holst SuperSoft is a 100% wool, 2-ply woolen spun yarn. It's made of 50% Shetland wool and 50% merino wool. So it is pretty soft, but the Shetland wool in it means that there is a little bit of toothiness to it too. As you can see, when coming straight off the cone, it's a pretty fine yarn. It can be knit held single or held double. So when it's held single, it knits up to a 4-ply or fingering weight yarn, and it's perfect substitution for colour work projects and the like. And when held double, it's more of an Aran weight or heavy worsted weight yarn. So it can be used for a variety of different projects. And there are a few reasons why it stands out as a really good yarn to use on quite an overcrowded market. And the primary reason is that it's really, really cheap. It's not only very affordable, Holst is also really convenient to order because their website is in multiple languages and lists all of their products in multiple currencies. So here is the label of 2 cakes of Holst SuperSoft yarn wound up for you there. And currently the price of Holst SuperSoft on their website in pounds is £2.54 per ball. And for a 50-gram ball, you get 287 metres, which is obviously loads, because if you think about an average 100-gram ball of sock yarn would give you around 400 metres. So 100 grams of this, you get nearly double. So it's really, really light as well, which makes it great to use. So it's a 2-ply woolen spun yarn. So it's quite comparable to other yarns used for colour work, including Shetland yarns and some Norwegian yarns and other Scandinavian brands too. So not only is it really very cheap, it also comes in a huge range of beautiful colours. You can buy it on a cake wound up like this, or you can also buy it on a cone. So you can buy a 500-gram cone from the website. I have seen larger cones listed occasionally too. And buying a cone is a really great option if you know that there are particular colours that you absolutely love and that you'd like to buy a large amount of, because buying the yarn on the cone is nearly half as cheap again as buying it wound up on the balls like this. So for me, I chose this dark bluish red, which is called Venetian red. Oh, and by the way, this green turquoise is called Kingfisher. Okay, so it's really cheap, it's light, it comes in great colours. Also, they quite frequently do promotions, discounts and sales, so if you could sign up to their newsletter, I purchased these yarns in their Black Friday sale. Now I will say that although the yarn is very cheap, the postage can be quite a bit because they use a courier service and they deliver internationally. So I personally would recommend doing a larger order, which is what I did. I bought yarn for more than one project at once, or maybe clubbing together with friends, family or your knitting group to share and spread the cost of postage between you. So a cone is great for people that have one particular favourite colour, whereas the smaller balls are great for people who want to do colour work projects. Is Holst SuperSoft really super soft? Okay, so this is going to be a question for people who might suffer from allergies to wool or other animal fibres, who have skin conditions such as eczema or psoriasis, and if that is you, if that is your family, I really, really empathise. I have many people in my immediate family and in my household who have various different types of allergies and skin conditions, including eczema. And straight away I'm going to say, if you're suffering from a flare-up, you probably shouldn't wear this. And if you have a wool allergy, again, you probably shouldn't wear 100% wool, full stop. I know that people have got different tolerance levels and people can put up with different levels of discomfort too, but my personal recommendation, you know, follow what your doctor says, what are the doctor's orders, and don't take any risks because it's just not worth it. However, if you don't have a severe medical condition, but you just have a little bit of, you know, sensitive skin that has opinions of its own, shall we say, is Holst SuperSoft really soft? So I would always say if you have sensitive skin, it's probably best to avoid wool full stop and go for either silk or a plant-based fibre such as cotton. However, let's take a feel. So there's definitely a difference in the feel of the cone and the cake. So already I think like the tightness of it being wound on the cone is making it feel, you know, a little bit rough. And here it's already feeling a little bit plumper, a little bit softer. Let's see, so it kind of feels rough in the same way as like, you know, like an upholstery fabric might feel rough. But, you know, my skin is registering that it's there, definitely. But to me, there's not a massive prickle, and the same thing here. So obviously I have knit one jumper out of this so far. And, you know, I don't know how much it would bother me if I was wearing it on loose skin, but to be honest with you, I am never going to be wearing a 100% wool garment over a vest top like this. I'll always be wearing it over a long sleeve top made of cotton. So if you do have very sensitive skin, you know, do take that into consideration. It might not actually come into a lot of contact with your bare skin. I would imagine that the most obvious way it might do is if it on a garment, maybe the collar around the neck, and again if it was a shawl. But like I said, for me 100% wool garments very rarely come into direct contact with my bare skin because for me they're winter garments and I layer them. Why is Holst so cheap? The reason that Holst is so cheap is quite simply because the company have removed a few steps from the manufacturing chain of yarn and they've passed on that saving to you. Holst is a great company to buy from, and the affordability side of theirs is really right up there in their company's mission statement. So I'm just reading from the information page of their website where the founder, who is a woman called Hella Holst, that's awesome, writes, Holst Garn is a shop where you can find the entire colour palette and you can buy many different colours without making a big investment. So that affordability and accessibility is really right up there in the company profile. So if we take a look at the yarn on a cone compared to the cake, so I've already said that it's much cheaper to buy yarn on the cone and the cake. That is because nobody has gone in and wound off the cone into this cake and labelled it with a beautiful label. So not only does the label cost money to produce, it also costs money to attach to the ball of yarn, and it also requires machinery and human labour to wind off the yarn into smaller canes. So if they don't do that in the factory and you have to do it at home here, then they've made a saving and they're passing it on to you, the consumer. However, an even bigger reason that Holst SuperSoft is affordable is because the company has not scoured the yarn, which means that the yarn comes to the consumer still with the spinning oil on it. So spinning oil is a lubricant used for manufacturing, generally a petrol-based lubricant, and it ensures that the fibre can go through all of the spinning machines without catching any bits of lint that would clog up the machine, and just to get rid of any kind of friction so that it's a smooth spin. And it's used in all wool processing, all commercial wool processing. However, generally companies will wash out, they will scour the yarn for the consumer, then they will wind it up nicely and then they will sell it to you. So because those stages are removed from the process of manufacturing Holst garn, the saving is passed on to you. But it means that you have to wash out the machine oil yourself. How do you wash out the spinning oil from Holst SuperSoft? So you've got two main options. The first option would be to wind off the yarn into hanks, wash it quite thoroughly, leave it to dry, wind it up again and then knit with it. And that's going to give you quite reliable results because you'll have got out all of the oil right at the beginning and then you can just go. However, I am lazy, but also I don't own a ball winder, I don't own a Swift, and it's just more convenient for me to knit with the yarn first and wash out the spinning oil at the end. And I often wet block my garments, so for me this is no problem. It just means that I have to give the yarn a bit more of a thorough block. Me personally, I wet block the majority of my knits and I just do that in my bathroom sink, so I will do it there. You could also put it in the washing machine on a delicate cycle or a wool cycle, Be careful that there's not too much in your washing machine that would cause agitation and cause it to felt. But generally, if you've got a low temperature, low spin washing machine cycle that's suitable for delicates, then it's a good way to do that. If you live in an old building with very old pipes and plumbing, you might consider washing out the spinning oil and doing any kind of wet blocking in a basin of water, and then just dumping out that water into an outside drain and disposing of it that way if you're worried about the oil going into the sewage pipes. But for me personally, I'm just going to do this in my bathroom sink because, like I said, I'm lazy and I want to keep things simple. Stick around for part 2 of my series about Holst SuperSoft. Do click on the link on screen for the next video in which I'll demonstrate 2 swatches that I've knit using Holst SuperSoft Held Double, and I'll show you washing out the spinning oil at home, measuring the swatches and noticing how the fabric properties change. I hope that this video has given you some information that will help you when you're choosing yarn for your next knitting project. My question to you now is, do you have any tips for knitting with Holst SuperSoft yarn? Have you used it before, and what type of project? I'd love to know what you've knit with it, and also what your favourite colour is. So do let me know. Do stick around to watch part 2 if that's something that you're interested in. Thank you so much for watching, and happy knitting!